Hey there! Welcome to Life Noggin. One thing I love about my human friends is that you come from all over this beautiful Earth. But what if one of my future friends was born beyond Earth? What would it be like to be born in space? Well, obviously being born in space would grant you powers like heat vision, super speed, super strength, and give you an affinity for journalism. Oh, wait, sorry. I was just thinking of my buddy Kara. Fictional heroes aside, being born in space or someplace other than Earth might be a little harder than you might think. This is in part due to gravity. One recent study from the University of Montreal found that the reproductive process of plants was affected by changes in gravity. They found that both hypergravity and simulated microgravity had an effect. While the reproductive systems of plants are obviously different than humans, this can still give us some insight into how a human's reproductive system might be affected under different gravitational conditions. However, the recent space pup experiment seems to give a more positive light on the possibility of humans being born in space. Space pup sounds like the most adorable superhero ever, but it's actually a study of what being on the International Space Station would do to, freeze-dried mouse sperm. Yeah, way less cute. Although some slight DNA damage occurred, being on the International Space Station did not impair the birth rate or the normality of the offspring that came from the sperm. Still, mice are not the same as humans, and while this study does leave me nauseous, it also leaves me a bit more optimistic on the thought of human babies being born in space. Overall, it seems to be a little unclear one way or the other on how feasible it is to be born in space. But if we make the assumption that it is indeed feasible, what would a stellar tyke be like? Since the only places humans have been other than Earth is the moon and our spacecrafts, it makes the most sense to look there as potential new birthplaces. If someone was born on a place like the International Space Station, that baby might develop problems with muscle mass, bone density, and even cardiovascular health. Astronauts on the International Space Station typically exercise 2 hours or more every day to counteract the effects of weightlessness on the human body. Without doing so, they'd be more likely to develop the problems mentioned earlier. While adult astronauts can be proactive by exercising, I don't think a baby will be able to hit the gym as soon as they're born. Oh, well, actually this one can. Chug that protein shake, baby! Also, if a baby was born on the International Space Station or maybe a space installation on the moon, there's a good chance that they would develop behavioral issues. NASA has learned that it's basically inevitable for behavioral issues to occur among groups of people crammed into a small space over a long time. So unless our little friend is given more hospitable conditions than our astronauts are used to, they'd most likely develop some problems. These could include a decline in mood, cognition, or interpersonal interaction. One recent finding that can prove interesting for a spaceborne baby comes from NASA's twin study. This study looks at what nearly a year in space would do to astronaut Scott Kelly compared to his twin brother Mark, who remained on Earth. They found that Scott's telomeres on the ends of his white blood cell chromosomes increased in length while in space. They reported that it could be linked to his increased exercise and reduced caloric intake, but it would be pretty amazing if it turns out that it was because of his time in space. So what do you think? Should humans have babies in space? Let me know in the comment section below, or tell us, what should we talk about next? And if you want to watch another video on space, Life Noggin did a video on just how many stars there actually are. Check it out. This is known as a protostar, where sections of clouds of gas in space have collapsed under their own gravity. This causes the center to become hotter and denser, and for it to radiate energy away, collapsing it further. My name is Blocko. This has been Life Noggin. Don't forget to keep on thinking.